Have you ever wondered what sets successful leaders apart from others? It's because they've developed an attitude of gratitude. Are you ready to develop yours? Let's go. When you think about gratitude, maybe it's kind of this woo-woo thing that other people talk about and you watch it online, you go, whatever. I hope that today you're willing to go with me on this quick journey about how to develop gratitude and this great attitude towards it, because honestly, gratitude is so empowering, it's amazing. And when we live in an attitude of gratitude, our day is better, our life feels more fulfilling, and we feel a true sense of purpose. I can tell you that when I wake up in the morning and I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I can tell that it's because I have not been practicing gratitude, whether it was the day before or waking up and thinking, oh, I have to do something, this is going to be a hard day. Rather, you can shift the language. That's the very first tip I'm going to give you. Shift the language in your own mind about what your gratitude is for that day. And you know, when you practice gratitude, it's interesting. You can have certain routines that you do, whether, well, for me, I like to wake up and have some meditation time. I like to get in an ice bath. Hey, I know ice bath stuff is popular these days. Ice baths are really terrifying, to be honest. But what's nice is when you get in that ice bath, especially when it's cold outside. As I'm filming this, it's snowing outside at this time of year. So imagine waking up and being like, I'm gonna go get in an ice bath in a snowy place. It's kind of crazy. When I get in that ice bath, I'm breathing right? And then I start to calm down and I feel all the gratitude I have. Maybe first for how nice it's going to be when it's over, but mostly the gratitude comes from, I know this is helping my body. I'm proud of myself for actually doing this. There's some small things psychologically that go through your mind when you're doing something really tough that you made yourself do, rather than being put in that position and then having to find the gratitude in it. And so I also love to journal. Writing in a journal is such a powerful way to express gratitude. And I hope that you have some way of journaling, whether it's handwriting or typing something in. There are people that use apps like One Day or Day One, these types of things that they say, I'm so grateful for what happened this day. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to practice gratitude as often as possible. I have some reminders that are set for me, and I don't necessarily put them on the calendar because sometimes I wear them. For example, I thought I'd show you. This is a bead little bracelet, and I wear it on the same as my watch. This has 27 little beads. This is very interesting because my buddy made this. His name is Tyson Brooks. Tyson made me these beads and he said, this is a gratitude bracelet. And I was like, what does that mean? He said, all you do is you put your hand or your finger and thumb over the bead, and then you say something you're grateful for. And I said, well, what am I going to go around and do that during the day? He goes, yep, you're going to say that at least 27 times because there's 27 beads, and you're going to say what you're grateful for. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. How many times do that per day? And he goes, I do it at least 4 times a day around the whole bracelet of things I'm grateful for. My friend Tyson lives at this extra level of enlightenment, it seems to me. Every time I talk to him, he's energized, he's excited. He's made himself this way through this attitude of gratitude, as well as through practices like this. And so I was talking with Tyson recently. I said, what's something that's kind of different that you've been grateful for recently? And he said, I was thinking about water recently. I said, water? What do you mean? He goes, I'm grateful for water. I said, okay, tell me more. And we started to talk through, as we went bead to bead, what we would be grateful for with water. So just go with me on this for a second. Think about the clean water you have. Think about how you don't have to, probably where you live, maybe you don't have to walk to get water. Think about taking a nice bath or shower. Think about, the fact that our bodies are actually made up of water. I mean, as you go through it, it's interesting how easy this becomes to start to think about how grateful I am anytime I do a workout to have a drink of water. In fact, the first thing I do every morning is take a bunch of water into my body very first. It helps flush out the toxins. I know it's good for me. And I drink water before bed. I probably should do less of that because then I'm up in the middle of the night. You know what I mean, right? But when I feel grateful, I know that it's because I'm thinking about the thing that is helpful to me. And water for me has become something like that. So as you're listening to that, I hope that you're thinking, okay, I can do that with something as simple as water. Now, if you start to look at the other blessings of life, whether it's your family, family, your body, your spiritual life, all the different things we can be grateful for. There is so much that you can work to develop that attitude of gratitude. A couple of years ago, I broke my leg. If you've ever broken any body part, you all of a sudden realize how grateful you are to have that part when it was working. And unfortunately, we have to be put in a position of being injured or having something bad happen to us to find that level of gratitude. I remember laying in the bed while I was doing rehab and icing my leg and thinking, I'm so grateful for all the things I could do before, like running, jumping, swimming, skiing, you name it. And ever since I've done the rehabilitation and my leg has gotten better, I'm doing those things in an attitude of gratitude. In fact, recently I went snow skiing for the first time since that injury. I didn't even buy a ski pass because I thought, I don't even know if I can put the boot on and it'll even work on the ski hill. I went up to the ski resort, I walked up the hill, I put the ski on just to see if I could even go down. I'm almost getting emotional thinking about it because I was on this ski hill that I could do easily before this happened, this injury. And then I was skiing and I was like, I'm so grateful that I can do this now. Sometimes we have to go through the hard thing to get to the gratitude. And I'm grateful for the injury now because it helped me to find that attitude of gratitude. So think about the hard things you've been through and how they create for you empathy and gratitude and a place of feeling grateful for the challenges of life. Let's go back for a minute to 2020, when the whole world went to ground zero, if you will, with the pandemic. All of a sudden, I lost all my work. I then became extremely grateful for all the clients I had had in the past, all the people that let me come and speak in person, the fact that I didn't have to do it on Zoom, and then I became grateful that I could do a speech on Zoom. There's so many reasons to be grateful in this world. I hope some of this has been helpful as you've listened to it. There really is a psychology about it, isn't there? When it comes to gratitude, I've looked up some studies and I thought I'd share at least one with you here, but I need to read it because I can't memorize this. I read this one, a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology by Emmons and McCullough in 2003 found that practicing gratitude leads to higher levels of positive emotions, increased life satisfaction, and better overall mental health. I agree. And I'm so grateful for studies like that that actually prove what I've just been talking about. It does raise our happiness. It does bring us to a new level of optimism. It does energize us when we feel and practice an attitude of gratitude. So let's talk about how to cultivate an attitude of gratitude in just a couple of different ways. First of all, writing in a journal, we've talked about that. I hope you'll put that into practice. How about sharing and expressing your gratitude with others? Texting somebody or calling them on the phone and telling them how grateful you are for them or just for the beautiful day. That will uplift somebody's life. I would challenge you to try for 21 days to write down what you're grateful for. I would also love to encourage you, if you're willing, in the comments below this very video, if you'd be willing to share with me and anyone else who watches this video how you practice an attitude of gratitude and how it's blessed your life. Because the more we express gratitude, the greater our attitude will be. Thanks for joining me today.